Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope all of you are fine. Welcome to your history class. As you know that we have started chapter number 11 and this chapter deals with the problems that Pakistan faced immediately after getting independence. And here we come to know that although it was difficult to get independence, but it was rather more difficult to handle it and to make Pakistan survive in such tough conditions. And it was only possible through the tireless efforts of Quaid-e-Azam that Pakistan not only survived but it flourished. In yesterday's lecture, we learned about the reactions of various communities to the Redcliffe Award, and we also had a look at the geographical problems of Pakistan. And in today's class, we are going to have a look at the political, economic, and social problems that Pakistan faced after getting independence. So let's get started. Okay, first of all, we will talk about the political problems. We know that Pakistan is divided into two areas, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. And it was one major problem that Pakistan faced, that politically it was difficult to administer two far-flung areas. And there was a difference of 1,000 miles between those, East Pakistan and West Pakistan. So it was difficult to politically handle these two far-flung areas. And another major problem that Pakistan faced as a nascent state is that Pakistan had no government buildings, no furnishings, and even it lacked the officials. There were no government officials in Pakistan. It has to face the lack of government officials. Because the areas that India got after partition comprises of the central parts of the subcontinent, and whereas Pakistan is situated on the margins of the subcontinent, both East and West Pakistan are situated on the margins of the subcontinent, and all the major buildings, all the major development was there in the central parts of the India. So Pakistan had no government buildings, no furnitures, and even no offices. And Indian political leaders had a lot of political experience. They used to take part in the political activities of the joint subcontinent. Therefore, they had experience both of the political process and also of holding political office, whereas the political leaders of Pakistan lacked such experience. And the distance between East and West Pakistan made it difficult to administer both the areas as one country. And Pakistan lacked administrative and governmental machinery. And what do you mean by administrative machinery? There were no offices, no buildings, no machinery, and no people to serve on administrative and governmental posts. So Pakistan has to face a lot of problems regarding this. And another problem was that Quaid-e-Azam was suffering from tuberculosis, TB. And Pakistanis were not aware of this fact. And although he needed a lot of rest, but he made tireless efforts in order to ensure that Pakistan survived and it flourished. So Quaid-e-Azam's sincere efforts bore fruit in the later years, but at that time Pakistan desperately needed a true leader, a sincere leader like Quaid-e-Azam, and Quaid-e-Azam's declining health and then ultimately his death in 1948 you know, was a great loss to the nascent state of Pakistan. Had he had he been living in that period, then Pakistan would have made a lot of progress. But unfortunately, he died very early. That is why Pakistan lost a true leader who was devoted to the progress and development of Pakistan. So these were the political problems, that Pakistan lacked the buildings, it lacked the furnitures, and it lacked the manpower to handle the administrative and governmental posts in Pakistan. And whatever people were available, they lacked the necessary experience and exposure needed to handle their respective seats. Now we will have a look at the economic problems. Pakistan comprises of the areas which were underdeveloped. There were no development in the areas of Pakistan because Pakistan comprised of the marginal areas of subcontinent, whereas all the central parts of the subcontinent went to India. So there were lack of industries, lack of industrialization, and Pakistan's economy based on agriculture. It was agriculture-based economy. There was lack of industrialization, and industrialization was needed to make it economically strong. And there was also unjust division of assets. India got a huge share of the assets, whereas Pakistan got a very little share of the economic assets. When we see in the industrial enterprise, industrial areas, Pakistan only got 10% of industrial assets. And if you talk about industrial workers, the experienced industrial workers, Pakistan only got 6.5% of industrial workers, whereas all the rest of the workers went to India. And electrical capacity of Pakistan was only 5%, and the rest of the 95% went to India. Mineral deposits which Pakistan got were only 10%, and rest of the 90% went to India. So this was the situation that Pakistan has to face so many problems on various fronts, and it dealt with those problems with the willpower and ceaseless efforts of Quaid-e-Azam. And now we will have a look at the social problems. Pakistan comprises of people that have different traditions, their cultures are different, their language and lifestyles are different. So although the one thing that combined them was their religion, and except for the religion, nothing was common between the peoples of Pakistan. Punjabis had their own culture, lifestyle and language. The language, culture and traditions and lifestyles of Sindhis, Balochis, Pakhtuns and Bengalis were diverse in nature. So it was very difficult to administer the people which were very different from each other. And then the language issue was there. East Pakistan, which is the Bangladesh, which is now Bangladesh, comprised of 57% of Pakistan's population. And the official language of Pakistan was Urdu. So there were issues regarding the official language. Bengalis did not want to adopt Urdu, and they were not sure that whether they want to join Pakistan or not. So the Pakistani political leaders, the Muslim League leaders convinced Balochis and Bengalis somehow to form an allegiance with Pakistan, but later Bengalis found it very difficult to survive in the joint Pakistan. So ultimately they got freedom and they were separated from Pakistan in 1971. because of the vast difference that was there between Bengal and West Pakistan, and the culture and language differences made it very difficult for Bengalis to survive in Pakistan. And government machinery. Let's talk about it was difficult for government to administer such far flung areas which were diverse in every way. So Pakistan had to face many problems, and if we talk about economy of Pakistan, lack of industrialization, if we talk about political problems, lack of government machinery and administrative machinery, and if we talk about social problems, the diversity of various groups that were living in Pakistan made it difficult, and these factors increased the difficulties that Pakistan was already facing as a nascent state. Okay, students, I want you to go through page number 111 and 12 in order to have a better understanding of this topic. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.